the day I was trying on my wedding gown. My sister, Olivia, still bandaged from her car accident, bolted out of the hospital and burst into the bridal salon. Sophia, you can't marry Kevin Blackwood. Olivia clung to my arm, her face a mask of frantic urgency. Sophia, please believe me. I've been reborn. Kevin doesn't love you at all. The one he truly loves is your best friend. He is only marrying you to spite Clara Evans. 3 years from now, he will torment you relentlessly to force a divorce, making your life a living hell. Mom, driven by worry, will fall ill and pass away from grief. Dad, trying to protect you, will be beaten into a cripple by Kevin's bodyguards. And I'll die in a car accident orchestrated by Kevin and Clara. Olivia cried out, heedless of her surroundings, tears brimming in her eyes. My first thought was that she had lost her mind. Reborn? How could that be? And as for Kevin loving my best friend, they didn't even know each other. My best friend and I had known each other since high school. After college, she moved abroad. She wouldn't have returned to the country if she hadn't heard I was getting married. In fact, her whole reason for coming back was to be my bridesmaid. We had been best friends for 5 years, and I'd never once heard of any interaction between her and Kevin. Olivia, darling, did the accident hit your head? You need to go back to the hospital and rest. I patiently coaxed her, biting back my irritation. Olivia's grip on my hand loosened, and large tears rolled down her cheeks. Sophia, given another chance, I won't let you step into that hellish marriage again. She was my sister, my own flesh and blood. Even with doubts, I needed to get a clear explanation before dismissing her. So I asked Olivia, you say you've been reborn. Do you have any proof? Olivia's gaze darkened. She slowly said, Sophia, at 5 o'clock this afternoon, a fire will break out here. Kevin will abandon you to save your best friend, Clara Evans. My pupils abruptly constricted. I was about to speak, but Clara Evans' sudden appearance cut me off. Sophia. It was Clara, my best friend. She walked over and hugged me tightly. Olivia seemed terrified of Clara. Her face instantly went ashen the moment she saw her. Noticing Olivia's unusual reaction, I couldn't help but ask, are you feeling unwell? Sophia, my head feels a bit dizzy. Could you please call a cab to take me back to the hospital? Olivia interjected. I nodded. Of course. I pulled out my phone and called a cab for Olivia to return to the hospital. After Olivia left, Clara teased me. Sophia, I can't believe you're getting married so soon. Congratulations, finding a fiancé who cherishes and loves you like Kevin does. I replied, what about you? All these years abroad, didn't you find a boyfriend you liked? Clara chuckled self-deprecatingly. I'm all alone, a permanent singleton. I doubt anyone will ever love me. As Sierra finished speaking, I was about to offer some comfort. My fiancé, Kevin Blackwood, suddenly emerged from a corner. Sophia, how's the wedding dress fitting going? As he spoke, Kevin came over to me. Dressed in a sharp suit, he exuded an air of elegant handsomeness. Kevin was born into a prominent family. His parents were the CEOs of a publicly traded corporation. He came from a privileged background but lacked the notorious womanizing habits often seen in wealthy families. Kevin and I fell in love at first sight. After we became official, he was incredibly devoted to me, showering me with affection as if he wanted to place the entire world at my feet. Everyone in our circle said Kevin had fallen head over heels for me. Kevin and I had been together for 5 years, and he had proposed countless times. I only finally said yes to his proposal a month ago. When I accepted, he even cried, telling me, Sophia, I'll be good to you for the rest of my life. 5 years of shared life made it impossible for me to believe that the gentle, refined Kevin standing before me would, in the 3rd year of our marriage, torment me to the point of wishing for death. Snapping back to reality, I said to Kevin, "I haven't tried it on yet." "Go on, try on your dress, sweetheart. I can't wait to see you in your wedding gown." Kevin leaned in and kissed my cheek. Today, Kevin was exceptionally mushy. It wasn't quite like him. It was almost as if he were deliberately trying to provoke someone. I glanced at my best friend. She stood silently, her gaze lowered. Kevin quickly scanned her, but there was no strange emotion on his face. Was I overthinking this? Just then, Clara also urged me, "Go on, try on your dress. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in your gown too." With a soft hum, I walked into the bridal shop's fitting room, both of them watching with anticipation. As I tried on the dress, I deliberately pulled open the curtain to glance outside. Kevin and Clara were standing in separate corners. Kevin was on the phone, while Clara sat lost in thought. They weren't doing anything suspicious while I was trying on the dress. Maybe I really was imagining things. Closing the curtain, I slipped into the wedding gown I had carefully chosen. The gown was quite intricate to put on, taking a considerable amount of effort. Just as I finished changing and was about to emerge, I pulled back the curtain and a thick, suffocating smoke billowed in, stinging my eyes shut. It was actually on fire, and it was exactly 5 o'clock. My heart turned to ice. The thick smoke blurred my vision. Kevin and Clara, who had been waiting outside for me, were nowhere to be seen. "Kevin, Clara," I cried out, struggling to move through the smoke, dragging the heavy wedding dress as I desperately tried to find the exit. Every step I took, the smoke choked me, sending me into coughing fits. Thankfully, the next moment I saw Kevin. "Kevin!" Before joy could even register, I heard Clara's violent coughing. I turned, intending to help her, but someone was faster. Kevin practically slid on his knees to Clara's side. At the same moment, a blazing timber suddenly plummeted from above, smashing down on me. The searing pain made me gasp, tears blurring my vision. "Hang in there. Don't be afraid. I will get you out." Kevin acted as if I didn't exist, his entire focus solely on Clara. Flames licked at his back, his face flushed red from the heat, yet he still shielded Clara protectively. So, my sister had been telling the truth all along. Clara, it turned out, was Kevin's true love. The fire continued to spread, the thick smoke stinging my eyes, blinding me. All I could do was watch through tears as Kevin carried Clara away, disappearing into the smoke. My leg was pinned under a fallen pillar, leaving me unable to move. I gazed at the doorway, filled with a desperate hope, fantasizing that Kevin, remembering our 5 years together, would come back for me. But even as I drifted towards unconsciousness, Kevin never reappeared. When I woke up again, I was in a hospital room. "Sophia, you're awake." I opened my eyes to see Kevin's anxious face, just as it had always been. "Sophia." Clara also stood by my bedside, calling my name, her voice as gentle as it had been in high school. My head suddenly throbbed with intense pain. The 2 people I trusted most had abandoned me in a burning building. "Sophia, I can explain what happened in the fire," Kevin said, seeing my furrowed brow. He saw my tightly furrowed brows and began to explain. "The situation in the fire was incredibly urgent. I saw your best friend was in a much worse condition. I was afraid if something truly happened to her, you'd be heartbroken too. So I rescued her first. But when I tried to rush back into the fire for you, the flames were already too intense. I was blocked at the entrance and couldn't get through. Then, I passed out myself. I did want to save you, Sophia." Kevin looked at me, his face a picture of sincerity. "Yes, the situation was so critical," Clara echoed. After Kevin set me down, he turned right back and plunged into the inferno, trying to save you. He truly values you more than his own life. Clara also wore a solemn, heartfelt expression. I was almost swayed by their feigned sincerity. But the image of Kevin carrying Clara away was burned into my mind. Did they really think I was so easily deceived? I would like to be alone for a bit. Using the excuse of needing rest, I sent Kevin and Clara away. Sophia. Olivia walked in. Do you believe me now? Olivia asked. I softly hummed. You were right. Seeing my acceptance, Olivia continued. Sophia, I want to take you somewhere else. Olivia brought me to Kevin's private estate. Why did you bring me to my own house? I asked Olivia. This was supposed to be Kevin's and my marital home. I had never brought Olivia here before. We are here. Olivia stopped in front of a sprawling villa. I immediately recognized Kevin's car. Daddy. A small boy rushed forward and hugged Kevin. Kevin lifted him high, spinning him around. Leo, did you miss Daddy? It's been so long. Daddy missed you terribly. I stood rooted to the spot, utterly bewildered. Daddy? Kevin had a child? Who was the child's mother? It couldn't be. Kevin, you spoil him too much. Didn't you say you were swamped at the office today? How did you manage to come back? The familiar voice froze me in place. It was Clara. I postponed the meeting. Didn't Leo say he missed Daddy? Of course. Daddy had to come and spend time with you. Kevin lovingly pinched the little boy's cheek. Kevin and Clara. They even had a child together? Then Mommy and Daddy have to sleep together tonight too, okay? Leo will supervise you both. The child's innocent voice rang out. Kevin's expression didn't change at all. If anything, he smiled even wider. Of course. We're a family, so we will naturally sleep together. Kevin's lips curved into a smile, his gaze fixed intently on Clara. Clara's face flushed. She feigned a playful scold. The child's still here. What are you saying? Kevin pulled Clara into a fierce embrace, dropping a kiss on her cheek. What does it matter? Aren't I just speaking the truth? You are my wife. What's wrong with that? Wife. A bitter, desolate smile twisted my lips. Clara is your wife. Then what about me? Kevin had lied to me for 5 whole years. I trembled with rage. Once I take everything from the Vance family, I'll formally bring you and Leo into our home. I'll give you everything I have. Kevin looked at Clara, his voice dripping with affection. Everything from the Vance family? My fists clenched uncontrollably, my nails digging into my flesh until crimson blood welled and dripped. The man I had loved for 5 years had been using me from the very beginning, and he wanted to destroy everything I held dear. It was utterly pathetic. Sophia, in the 3rd year of your marriage, Clara crippled your hands. She knew what you cherished most. And after my car accident, my legs were crippled too. I became a useless invalid. I couldn't even avenge you. I truly was useless. Olivia said, her voice filled with bitter self-reproach. Olivia forced a wry smile. My nose stung. It's all my fault. I was a terrible judge of character. I brought ruin upon our family. I won't make that mistake again, Olivia. I hugged Olivia tightly, my eyes blazing with a fierce, burning hatred. I would make them pay. Soon, the day of my wedding arrived. Today, I had invited all our relatives and friends, including Kevin's family, as well as multiple media outlets. The wedding music swelled. Under the gazes and applause of my family and friends, I walked step by step towards Kevin. The officiant asked me, "Do you take this man before you to be your lawfully wedded husband?" I didn't answer. The officiant repeated, "Do you take this man before you to be your lawfully wedded husband?" I lifted my gaze to Kevin, who stood before me, his face etched with feigned devotion. I ripped off the headpiece of my wedding veil, looked at him, and declared, "I do not." My resolute voice, amplified by the microphone, echoed throughout the entire venue. A stunned murmur rippled through the guests. What's going on? What's wrong with the bride? Kevin seemed to sense something was amiss, but constrained by the guests, he merely tried to placate me. What is it, Sophia? Can't we discuss it after the wedding, please? And my best friend, Sierra, acting as my bridesmaid, also urged me, Sophia, today is the most important day of your life. Haven't you always wanted to marry Kevin? Just finish this wedding, and your wish will come true. Whose wish would come true, exactly? I scoffed at her words. At the same time, I spoke directly into the microphone. Come in. No sooner had I spoken. Mommy, a clear child's voice rang out. Clara and Kevin, standing at the altar, blanched. Where did this child come from? Get him out of here. Kevin practically roared. Clara, still in her bridesmaid dress, was ashen. Mommy. Leo rushed onto the stage, hugging Clara's leg. As he spoke, he looked at Kevin. Are you and Daddy getting married? The child's innocent question struck like a bolt from the blue, causing the guests to erupt in whispers. Daddy? Isn't she the bridesmaid? Who knows? She probably hooked up with young Master Blackwood ages ago. My parents, down in the audience, turned livid. My father glared at Kevin's parents. Is this how the Blackwood family treats ours? My daughter isn't desperate to marry, and she certainly doesn't need your family. My father slammed his hand on the table. The media present all aimed their cameras at the Blackwood and Vance families. Though the Blackwoods were a prominent family in the city's elite, our Vance family was no less influential. In recent years, the Blackwood family had shown signs of decline, and they still relied on our family for support. Mr. Blackwood immediately raised his glass, forcing a smile. Who is this wild child? He must have something wrong with his head. Our two families have been friends for so many years. You wouldn't believe a child over me, would you? Mr. Blackwood's words drained the color from Clara's face, inch by agonizing inch. Her background was her deepest pain. I watched her nails dig into her palm, a slight smile playing on my lips. You owe me. And this is just the beginning. Quick, Kevin, explain to Mr. Vance. Today's incident is just an accident. You don't even know that disturbed child. Mr. Blackwood glared at Kevin, his face grim. Kevin, his scalp tingling, stammered, Mr. Vance, I don't know that child at all. And the bridesmaid is Sophia's best friend. Sophia chose her own bridesmaid. If you don't believe me, surely you believe your own daughter? Besides, it's not impossible for a child to be used by someone with ill intentions. Blaming our family like this is really putting us in a difficult position. Towards the end, Kevin even sounded a little wronged. My father's expression softened. If that's the case, Grandpa. Leo rushed up and hugged Mr. Blackwood. Where did this brat come from? Get lost. Mr. Blackwood, already furious, kicked his own grandson a considerable distance. The guests weren't fools. That's too cruel. Why pick a fight with a child? The Blackwood family's conduct. It's truly hard to comment on. Lao. Clara rushed up and helped her son to his feet. Are you okay? Let Mommy see. Clara's heart ached. Her son's head had hit the corner of the table, and he was bleeding. Clara was both heartbroken and furious, glaring at Kevin. Kevin's fists clenched, trembling with the effort to resist helping his son. I already said I don't know this child. Just have security escort him out. Dad, don't get so angry. Kevin tried to calm his father. Mr. Vance, I also promise you, I truly have no involvement with any other woman. If I do, may lightning strike me dead. Kevin vowed solemnly, his earnest expression almost convincing me. Oh, really? I walked onto the stage from backstage, dressed in a black dress, a USB drive in my hand. Can you guarantee that every word of your vow is true? My smile was almost blinding as I looked at Kevin. Kevin hesitated for barely 2 seconds, then declared firmly, I can. Perfect. I inserted the USB drive into the computer. Footage of Leo calling Kevin Daddy, and Kevin's schemes to seize everything from the Vance family, all flashed across the large screen. Daddy, I miss you so much. This is my son. Everything in the Vance family will be ours. The scenes of Kevin and the child played on a loop on the big screen. He lunged forward, trying to explain, but was blocked by the bodyguards I had hired. Clara covered Leo's eyes and ears, her hands trembling uncontrollably. Don't be scared, Leo. Mommy will take you to the hospital. The media present swarmed her, snapping photos of her face. She practically buried her head into the floor, her voice a tiny whisper. Please stop taking pictures. I beg you. You have the nerve to be a homewrecker, but you're afraid of being photographed? The mistress has so much to say. Our eyes met across the distance, and I offered a faint, sardonic smile. Meanwhile, Kevin tried to explain to me. No, it's not like that, Sophia. Please let me explain. Kevin looked at me, his voice barely a whisper. This is just sickening. They're not even married yet, and he already has a love child this old. Just a moment ago, he was swearing on his life, sounding so sincere. I almost believed him. Everyone in our circle used to say the Blackwood heir was so devoted. Looks like he's just another worthless philanderer. Honestly, so rotten. He even wanted the woman's family assets. Looks like they really are in decline. The guest's whispers darkened Mr. Blackwood's face even further. My father was beyond furious. Is this the fine son your family raised? There's no longer any need for our two families to associate. My father turned and walked away. The Vance family had already been utterly disgraced by the Blackwoods. Mr. Blackwood couldn't stop my father. He was practically raving with fury. Kevin, what are you doing? Explain yourself properly to Sophia. A teacup flew towards Kevin, grazing his forehead, drawing blood. I felt a rush of pure satisfaction. Since realizing I had been deceived, an unnameable fire had been burning in my heart. Kevin ignored the blood on his forehead, looking utterly pathetic. Sophia, please, let me explain. For the sake of our 5 years together, please, give me a chance to explain. I watched him with detached interest. He still maintained that facade of deep affection. I waved off the bodyguards standing beside me. I wanted to see what other flimsy excuses he would come up with. Sophia, you're the only one I've ever loved, believe me. It was all Clara. She seduced me. She drugged me, forced me to be with her. But my heart is only for you. I was just too soft-hearted. That's why she tricked me. I promise you, there will be no next time. I'll make sure she can't survive in this country. Can't we just live a good life together? Kevin tugged at my dress, bowing low, a picture of servility. I tightened my grip on the voice recorder in my hand. Clara was foolish. Kevin was foolish too. How could I ever pretend that nothing had happened? I watched Kevin plead with me, quietly. Sophia, I was wrong this time, but I truly love you. Please give me another chance. There won't be a next time, Sophia. Kevin's forehead was bleeding, his face anxious, yet he continued to explain to me. All so he could get his hands on my family's wealth. I violently shook off Kevin's hand. Don't touch me. You're disgusting. Kevin's face drained of all color. He frantically rubbed his hand. Sophia, it's not dirty anymore. How sickening. I had no desire to further engage with them. They were pathetic, but wasn't I, too, tearing open my own wounds? I turned and walked away. Kevin screamed my name behind me. I didn't look back. Thump. A heavy sound echoed from the stage. A gasp rippled through the audience. Kevin Blackwood, the city's golden boy, had knelt. I turned to look at him. He knelt on the ground, shamelessly begging for my forgiveness. Sophia, please, can you forgive me? It was the first time I had ever seen him cry. How pathetic. I took a deep breath. When I loved him, he didn't cherish it. Now that I no longer loved him, he shamelessly groveled, begging for my forgiveness over and over. Lee mirrored him, turned and walked away, discarding the worthless diamond ring. He shouted after me, "Sophia, I'll stay on my knees until you forgive me." I kept walking. This was what he deserved. "Sophia, why are you still here?" "It's just bad luck." While I was packing up my things at the apartment Kevin and I had shared, Olivia ran over, complaining. "But at the wedding, you were amazing. Humiliating that scumbag and that wretch felt so satisfying." Olivia's cheerful voice warmed my heart. In my previous life, because I trusted a scumbag, I brought ruin upon my sister and my parents. Yet, they never once blamed me. In this life, I would never repeat that mistake. I would never let anyone harm my family again. Just these things. Throw them all out. I had the security guards discard everything related to Kevin. "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you picking through trash?" Just as Olivia and I were about to leave, we ran into Kevin, who was rummaging through the trash, picking up our photos. Feigning devotion for show. For whom? Olivia scoffed. I pulled Olivia around him, but he suddenly grabbed my wrist, his grip like a vice. "Sophia, I know I was wrong. But I beg you, for the sake of our 5 years together, can you help me? Make a statement to the media. Or can we just get back together? I swear I won't have anything to do with those two again." Kevin promised me with a solemn face. But to my ears, his vows were indistinguishable from a dog's whimpers. "You are only here because the Blackwood family stock plummeted, aren't you?" I said, without hesitation. A flicker of panic crossed his eyes. "No, it's not that. I truly know I was wrong, and I want to beg for your forgiveness." Bullshit. Although I had expected it, my heart still stung as if pricked by something sharp. The man I'd spent 5 years with was a complete scoundrel. He wouldn't apologize for our relationship. He would only use me for his own selfish desires. I wrenched free from his grip, my voice cold and devoid of emotion. "Don't ever come looking for me again. I won't forgive you, and I want no connection with you whatsoever." Kevin remained unyielding. I said quietly, "If you don't let go, I don't mind reintroducing your glorious deeds to the media." His hand instantly released mine. I gave a mocking smile. All just a pretense. Clara was even more thick-skinned than I had imagined. Ever since Clara returned from abroad, I had confidently entrusted her with running my own company. My parents were getting older, so I took over the company. Clara, conveniently, had studied accounting used to trust her implicitly. Now it was laughable to think about. Sophia. She still put on the facade of a good friend. If everyone hadn't already witnessed her actions as a mistress, they would probably have fallen for her act. I avoided her outstretched hand with a chilling, insincere smile. "Go ahead and resign. And prepare to be summoned by the police." "What?" Clara's eyes widened in disbelief. I had relied on professional management for my company, but above all, I had placed my trust in Clara. But now, it seemed that trust had driven my company into treacherous waters. "There are massive financial discrepancies in the company, and they trace back to you. I've already handed over the evidence to the police," I stated calmly. Clara looked utterly incredulous. I laughed, a cruel, cold sound. "You might not understand the law, but Kevin certainly does. He had already set you up as his scapegoat." "No, I don't believe it." "You're lying to me," Clara insisted, convinced I was bluffing. How uninteresting. Seeing her put so much faith in a scumbag like Kevin was like looking at my own foolish self from the past. "If you don't believe it, that's your problem." "No one can wake someone who pretends to be asleep," revealed Kevin's words from the wedding day, where he claimed Clara had seduced him. The color slowly drained from Clara's face. Her eyes widened in disbelief. "It's not like that." I ignored her. I had laid out all the facts. If she chose to deceive herself, there was nothing more I could do. The police arrived quickly and took Clara away. The company faced a deficit of nearly $1 million. If no one compensated for it, Clara was looking at decades in prison. I have transferred the money to your account. Drop the lawsuit. Kevin had arranged to meet me at a coffee shop. I looked at the confirmation of the transfer, feeling a strange wistfulness. Kevin truly had a deep, almost foolish devotion to Clara. Why hadn't I seen it then? I pushed down the turmoil in my mind, picked up my bag, and prepared to leave. Sophia. I missed you. I turned to look at Kevin. His face was ashen, his features gaunt. He was a stark contrast to his former vibrant, confident self. I knew he simply needed a quiet, gentle, undemanding presence by his side, a mere tool. But I was not that. I walked away without hesitation. Clara was released quickly. As she packed her belongings, a look of triumph crossed her face. I told you, Kevin loves me. I'm not like you. I smiled. But do you love him? You two deceive each other. One day, the truth will come out, I said, a half-smile playing on my lips. When I was investigating the company's deficit, I discovered that Clara hadn't given all the money to Kevin. A portion had gone to an overseas account. That man was Leo's true father. A flicker of panic swiftly crossed Clara's eyes, then she composed herself. I am now the girlfriend of the city's golden boy. When you speak to me, you had best show some respect. A laughable clown. I nodded indifferently. A crumbling family and a disgraced heir. They're all yours to manage. And just so you know, the Blackwood family now can't even compare to our Vance family, I said, my voice rich with hidden meaning. Clara's face contorted with rage. You're just born into a better family. What gives you the right to always look down on people? In her fury, she blurted out secrets she had hidden for years. I finally understood. She didn't love Kevin at all. She simply envied me. No matter what I did, buying her gifts, treating her to meals, covering some of her expenses abroad, letting her manage my company, she always felt I was merely giving her charity, looking down on her. She always felt I was despising her. Fine. From this moment forward, we have no connection. You no longer need to accept my superior charity. My expression turned cold and emotionless as I issued the command to dismiss her. Security, remove unauthorized personnel. Sophia Vance, I will definitely live a better life than you. Definitely. Her eyes blazing red, she declared war on me. However, the next events proved her wrong. The Blackwood family's company faced a deficit. Someone used Clara and Leo's lives to threaten the Blackwood family. And so, Leo was in a car accident. Kevin, frantic, rushed to the hospital, desperate to save his wife and child. But during the blood transfusion, he discovered that he and Clara couldn't possibly have a child with that blood type. What a ridiculous joke. Tell me, whose child is this? Kevin raged, almost tearing his hair out. Clara lay on the hospital bed, still recovering from the impact of the car accident. Startled by Kevin's outburst, her tears streamed down her face like broken pearls. She explained, terrified, Kevin, what are you saying? Leo is of course your child. Why don't you believe me? Clara thought she could feign helplessness as she always did and get away with it. But no man would be careless about something like this. He trusted science more than he trusted Clara. You cheated on me. I knew something was wrong with all that missing money. You were using it to support another man outside. You wretched woman. Kevin's brutal slap sent Clara tumbling to the floor. Clara lay pathetically on the floor, still making one last desperate plea. Believe me, Kevin. I didn't. Then prove it. Go get a paternity test. I admired Clara's mindset, her incredible psychological fortitude. But, remembering her declaration of war against me, I decided I didn't mind adding fuel to the fire. I anonymously sent Clara's transaction records to Kevin. Kevin had been on the verge of believing Clara, but one message sent her crashing back into hell. Then tell me, Who is this man? All these years, the money I gave you, you spent it on this man, didn't you? You are truly despicable. Kevin grew angrier with each word. He felt utterly disgraced, especially when he saw me. He couldn't resist backhanding Clara again. Clara finally snapped. And what if I did? I've been living in the shadows all these years. Did you expect me to live like a widow for you forever? More and more people gathered to watch. Kevin, who valued his reputation above all, felt his face being ground into the dirt. Bitch. He delivered a brutal punch to Clara's injured leg. Clara's face twisted in agony. Sir, this is a hospital. Please calm down. Security and nurses rushed over to break up the fight. But Kevin was blinded by rage. He heard nothing, only continued to unleash his fury, hitting Clara again and again, until Clara finally lost consciousness. What are you looking at? Mom asked, emerging from her checkup. I took Mom's arm, nonchalantly. Nothing much, just watched a little drama. How was your checkup? It went great. You silly girl, always worrying about your father and me. We're perfectly fine. Don't worry. My mom gently patted my arm. My nose stung. If Olivia hadn't been reborn and told me all this, what dreadful fate would Kevin have subjected my parents to? I thanked my lucky stars that, thankfully, none of those tragedies had come to pass. The video of Kevin hitting Clara was uploaded online. Although the Blackwood family later had the video removed, it couldn't erase the fact of their tarnished reputation. And Clara became a pariah, universally condemned. Clara also had involvement with Kevin's company. He ruthlessly threw Clara to the wolves, suing her to compensate for the massive financial deficit. Clara, lacking connections or influence, was no match for the Blackwood family. Ultimately, she ended up behind bars. The Blackwood family also fell from the ranks of the city's elite, and the once glamorous heir became nothing more than gossip at dinner parties. When I returned home, Kevin was waiting outside my door. Security, there's an unwanted individual here. Please remove him. I demanded without hesitation. I didn't hesitate to drive him away. Please, don't send me away. I have nowhere else to go. Kevin's voice was filled with deep grievance. But what did that have to do with me? Everything, absolutely everything, was his own doing. These past few days, I keep dreaming. I dream of us getting married, of us having a beautiful baby, a successful career, a happy family. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Every time I have that dream, I'm afraid to wake up, Sophia. I'm scared that as soon as I do, you'll look at me with that same disdainful, cold gaze. It hurts so much. Kevin lifted his head, and only then did I notice how haggard he looked. His face was unshaven, dark circles bloomed under his eyes, and tears welled in their depths. The dream was beautiful, but the reality was that after marrying him, he had brought ruin upon my family. The thought extinguished my patience. Get lost, Kevin. There's nothing left between us. Next time you try this, don't make me call the police. Can we truly not go back? Kevin's tears fell like broken pearls. I ignored him, because there was no going back. I didn't even want a shred of entanglement. I truly am sorry, Sophia. You used to be so good to me, and I didn't appreciate it. Kevin knelt. He was prostrating himself before me, the haughty golden boy now knocking his head against the ground. I laughed, tears welling in my eyes. Kevin, belated affection is more worthless than weeds. His prostrations paused, then continued. I had no desire to waste more words on him. I turned and went back inside. If he wanted to grovel, I would let him. The next morning, when I woke up, Kevin was gone. I heard that a heavy downpour had fallen the night before. Kevin, having prostrated himself 99,999 times, had collapsed from exhaustion. I let those words drift away like smoke, gone and forgotten. It was a beautiful day. I took my parents and Olivia on a trip abroad. Sophia, you're amazing. Olivia praised me. I ruffled Olivia's hair. Thank you, my dear sister. My parents looked at us, their smiles gentle and kind. After the rain, the sky clears. My life, too, had found its sunshine.
The end.
Thank you for watching our video. For more amazing stories, make sure to subscribe to our channel.